Why you shouldn't use bedroom escalation for day game on drunk women like other dating coaches, because it is a sociopathic concept my students don't do. Imagine other dating coaches who used aggressive escalation techniques on a drunk woman during day game in the bedroom. This is the reality for their sociopath sheets audience who follow their advice, but there is a better way for enlightened day gamers who doesn't have to worship me to get laid without unethical sociopathic tactics. Debunking myth number 1, day game doesn't have to rely on alcohol or aggressive tactics to be successful in the bedroom for day game. Debunking myth number 2, you can attract women without resorting to romantic flirts or manipulative behaviors that gets you stuck. Debunking myth number 3, you don't need to attend costly boot camps to learn to use alcohol in the bedroom escalating drunk women to find success in day game. Instead of following unethical and harmful tactics, watch this entire video to learn how to get laid without alcohol or heavy escalation for day game without a boot camp. Like and subscribe if you are enlightened. Remember, you don't have to worship me. Just learn from me like my enlightened audience and students. The thing was, other dating coaches were dumping their old testimonials and turning people into sheets. The problem was their students used alcohol in the bedroom by escalating drunk women in the bedroom. They actually call it bedroom escalation as if it was a thing, which I am here to debunk. So watch the entire video if you think it's okay to escalate drunk women. Their sociopath audience will say, oh, but it makes it easier. It's okay to win at all cost, since their students are impressionable dumb sheets with a sociopathic death stare, so they don't feel guilt. They didn't know any better that there is no such thing as bedroom escalation. This is something only sociopathic day game coaches will do. In fact, it's so sociopathic, no other day game coach in the world would do this unless they are a total sociopath with a dark tetrad personality disorder, which means sadistic, sociopath, narcissist, and a manipulator. That meant I wasn't able to get past 600 laid whole testimonials in 2023 because I am very close. To make things worse, I felt terrible because their audiences were gaslighted by their old testimonial stuffing. How can I compete with my new stuff or my unreleased laid testimonials if their minds are shut down worshiping? They worship alcohol crutches and bedroom escalation just to get stuck in their romantic flirt courses. That doesn't work, so they go to boot camps. In the boot camps, they learn how to bring alcohol out in the bedroom, then escalate her super hard. Since they use romance, the boyfriend-girlfriend frame, she eventually forgives the borderline sexual assault. I felt even worse about the situation because my audience are different. They are enlightened who has a sense of ethics, morality. They are being scammed by other day game coaches and defrauded, and the coach will make more money from their dumb sociopath audience. They are laughing all the way to the bank because they don't feel guilt or remorse or have any idea what I am talking about. For alcohol camps by heavy escalating drunk women, they never felt guilt before since they are wearing the mask of sanity, gaslighting others being sociopathic cult leaders. I felt like I built the day game system out of first principles just like them, the fundamental truths, except I did it ethically. In my thinking, I think they need a whitewashed fashion to look whitewashed, husband material to be in the tribe. They would need better body language like a natural. Also, they need to be chilled as possible with emotional control and emotional impact. The problem other that day game coach was that they were sociopaths. If you look at the trait, win at all cost here. Also, a lack of remorse. They operated on first principles of an evil sociopath without guilt. For them, since they don't feel guilt and have a win at all cost mentality, even at the cost of ethics or morality, when they use romantic flirts, they get stuck in the bedroom. So they think, how would they overcome this obstacle? Then use alcohol and escalate super hard, telling their students they are proceeding to bedroom escalate her, like fucking crazy sociopaths with a win at all cost mentality, while they always have a big bottle of champagne next to her. She might think it was just a social situation, but as soon as she gets intoxicated, then they cheat by escalating super hard. For me and my students, they only learn to maneuver, sexualize it to the max to get her sexual objections out, so they can deal with it, loop it until she says okay. That is ethical because they never get stuck since they don't use romantic flirts. They use the husband material frame. My students are ethical, so I got nearly 600 laid whole testimonials. They are not ethical, so I have more than 15 times they do for laid in whole testimonials for day game. For them, they have a win at all cost sociopathic mindset that also means taking steroids and telling their short students, not all, but some with lower SMV, to take steroids or acquire it before the boot camps. It would make day game easier as they were told and would be taught how to use it and use anti-aromatase inhibitors to not get man boots. This is why they are always looking more muscular in the summer and fatter in the winter due to their steroid cycle. They microdose on steroids. They believe by microdosing, they can mitigate the effects of steroids long term. No, they are not on TRT or testosterone replacement therapy. You can tell when people take steroids when they look leaner, bigger, and less body fat. They would only work out once a week at most. They are lazy narcissists. They can always justify in their mind anything. because they feel no guilt. They would also microdose on LSD or an acid like strip, which they believe helps them better with verbal game if they are more verbal in the infields. Normally, they sound dumb and autistic without it. They might not even think they are Asperger's, yet most engineers are. That is why they sound retarded. With stupid lines they use more emotions with. Let us be real here, it's all just brute forcing it in the bedroom with alcohol. You think you are being in your coach in their sociopath alcohol camps, but in reality everything is just about using lots of alcohol and spending time to escalate until she submits. They would tell themselves they are a god because they get results, even if it is even borderline sexual assault. Even the locks in their apartment will be reversed, meaning she can't leave unless she gets up from the bed when drunk. Second of all, they would have to ask that sociopathic person to unlock the reverse door lock, since they would need to turn the key from the inside to even let her out. It sounds totally psycho, as other dating coaches won't go this far. The most they might do is hide her shoes, but not this. Their students are like sociopath sheeps. They don't feel guilt with their sociopathic eyes, so they will use alcohol to escalate her super hard without knowing they are unethical. They waste money in their boot camps because they would get stuck with their day game courses, even if it has in fields. They will call it proof, but the only thing I see is a big bottle of champagne every single time on the nightstand. Their sociopathic sheep audience don't see the full picture. You might even say there is no such dating coach this evil, as no other day game coach in the world is this remorseless. That London day game, not RSD, not any one mystery method. So am I talking about any dating coaches in general? Or is this just a fictional one? Let us hope this is fictional, cause it sounds like a crazy dark tetrad sociopath manipulator. This meant they are testimonial dumping old shit, which is all half-truths. The way they sensationalize things is not what happened in their boot camps. The results happen, but what they tell you is brainwashing. It is remade into a propaganda film. They would stress it as their coaching, when in reality it is teaching their students heavy bedroom escalation on drunk women. They want to turn off the sociopath sheep's brain, who has to worship, like I said in my last video. Go watch it if you haven't already, because it describes how my students are different than theirs, since they don't need to worship. Their sociopath sheeps are bowing their heads down a bit worshipping, and even ignoring my late testimonials, as they dump old shit on them. Other coaches have done the same, posting their Tinder testimonials, but I am not talking about them. This testimonial dumping is a new trend now. I only post unreleased late testimonials, not old shit. Even their group coaching London programs are bullshit. Only one guy got laid. A tall Puerto Rican guy got laid with a 4 out of 10 looking Asian woman. ESM Vida. The others just pulled since they used alcohol without learning bedroom escalation yet. If you use alcohol, it doesn't mean she will submit. If you use alcohol and heavy bedroom escalation, then she will. If you tried bedroom escalation without alcohol, it won't work well. My students have to convert way beforehand, since they don't get resistance in the bedroom. If they do, they use aero science to deal with the objections, but their students uses alcohol to intoxicate her so she can't object, then proceeds to escalate her so her objections won't come up. They don't even know why it is wrong, because they never felt remorse before in their entire life. They would talk right through you missing a beat. Everyone else who can feel remorse will feel scared or shocked around them. Then they look to adjust their sociopathic mask. They don't feel remorse. They only think of manipulation all day, which got people to turn into sheeps and ignore my late testimonials for day game, even if they are recent and unreleased. People are so dumb they think worshipping is the safer option. But this year, they only did one thing you all saw. They shoved boot camps down your throats. Boot camps this, boot camps that. They need to fill as many boot camps because their day game courses don't work. So you have to learn the alcohol crutch in the bedroom in their boot camp. Then, as if by chance, something amazing happened. That's when I realized I already won, because when the pandemic happened, I focused less on in fields and more on getting students late. I wondered if I could actually run my business this way without worshipping. No matter if people hate on me, they can't, because I already accomplished this. You can't dismiss it. Can they actually do day game without alcohol? Escalating drunk women hard? Of course not. Neither can their students. I am nearly at 600 laid in poll testimonials, while they try to change the goalpost that only boot camps matter. This is not proof, but misleading evidence. It was now crystal clear to me how to debunk that their student in fields don't even mean anything, since they are using the alcohol crutch. Romance gets you stuck, so you have to go to boot camps. This means you have to get her drunk and escalate super hard, because everything before the end game. It's like chess, early game, which is the approach. Middle game, which is the instant date. I also learned that they don't have game. They often use that word since their students are sociopathic sheeps looking for a shortcut, just to find out later on they have to escalate drunk women in the bedroom, to pay $5,600 for it just to learn to pull, so they can apply that alcohol in the bedroom crutch, which is their end game in chess. But for my coaching, looks is out of 10, money out of 5, status out of 10, social skills, social calibrations, emotional control, and game are 2.5 points each. They simply don't have enough points, so the alcohol is just cheating and brute force at the end. Their students don't understand Elite 30 stuff for social skills and social calibrations. You need to stop worshipping misleading in fields and student in fields because you don't see the bedroom escalation of drunk women. You are being misled. As a result, I made a video to explain to people what a sociopath is, what are the 10 traits of a sociopath, how to deal with them. I made videos about this alcohol in the bedroom thing. I talked about how romantic flirts get you stuck. I even made 2 videos dressed like John Wick. One calling out Berlin is on easy mode because my student got laid in one approach there with the arrow science. It's a place of socialism. Most of the women there are secretly hipsters in Berlin. Other cities in Germany are harder than Berlin. So her survival value is taken care of. The government takes care of their housing and university. So she just looks for replication value. She is down to fuck. Will walk with you anywhere, even go by train. It's crazy how the women aren't afraid to follow that guy anywhere. The other claim I made is their London group coaching is a farce. Only one student got laid, but they made it seem like it's different aspects of their coaching. I showed my London students have superior results, even with models, 9 fuck buddies, or 3 and 5-some, lotto girlfriend, or banging a random 8.5 out of 10 Swedish blonde. After I did that, I started to make more videos calling out their audience as sociopathic sheeps. They have to worship. I talked about why my students who are sheeps goes back to worshiping other day game coaches with the halo effect, who worships muscles, height, ethnicity, when I'm the one who built their foundation, installing the big Tesla battery. They can only install small AA batteries because what they teach doesn't work. I talked about how their students are sociopathic impressionable sheeps without critical thinking with this mentor worship mentality when they didn't know they would pay $5,600 for boot camps learning how to escalate drunk women. All the game stuff, all the lines, all of the romantic flirts don't work without brute forcing it in the bedroom. That's why it's a numbers game for other dating coaches. My students' conversion mechanism is getting 20 out of 35. If they can't do it, they would use the arrow science. But that is why I have nearly 600 laid in poll testimonials for day game. Suddenly, I was making more videos to unbrainwash people of how they defraud their audience. I believe debunking sociopathic sheeps worshipping is important, since worshipping in fields gets you stuck. Even people worship GameCheesy.tv, whose student almost got arrested, as I heard with his RSD shit, worshipping muscles. And the halo effect isn't the answer. He has in fields, but only 1 laid testimonial a year, 3 so far. This debunks in fields. No, he is not the evil one I am referring to, if who I am referring to is even real or fictional. Not even Game Cheesy is this sociopathic. My plan was to start making more videos about this topic. So I started making more videos, educating people of the sociopathic element of other day game coaches. Also, their sociopath sheep audience, who are super stupid worshipping sheeps without critical thinking, having a sociopath death stare. But I didn't stop there. I then educated people of how their worship equals romantic flirt courses, which leads to you getting stuck so you take a boot camp. Then you learn the alcohol crutches in the bedroom. You escalate super hard until she submits, then creates massive Stockholm syndrome, where she eventually sides with her captor with this romantic boyfriend and girlfriend frame. She will overlook it siding with the captor. Even this was incidental. If you don't use the alcohol, you will always be stuck without it, using their romantic flirt game. Their whole boot camps are defrauding you to learn unethical tactics you can't repeat back at home. If their students ever could repeat it, they trained under me, with social skills, social calibrations. But this debunks their game. This is not game if you get stuck just to brute force it with alcohol. Other people with remorse will think that is borderline sexual assault. After that, I made this video talking directly about bedroom escalation and how it is unethical and borderline illegal. Not the alcohol part, but the heavy escalation part is unethical. But there was still a problem. Their strategy of posting old bootcamp stuff already turned their audience into sheeps, so they would keep stuffing old testimonials. I ended up getting so frustrated that I decided to just educate them that no amount of money is worth it to learn bedroom escalation in their bootcamps, especially not $5,600 USD for a week. I chose to call it the Enlightened versus the Sheeps. I thought if I could create something that would make it possible to differentiate between the enlightened students who would get laid by following my instructions without worshipping me, making it a no worship policy here, then separate it from the sheeps who have to worship to listen. I'll be really happy. After talking about enlightened versus sociopathic sheeps, people realize how much they don't need to worship. I mean, in the past, for those marketing gurus, I would listen to the wrong people because they were more popular people. I too know what it feels like to be a sheep. I should have just listened to those who were the most transferable. My millionaire student advice, the guy who got married. His advice last year made me a lot of money. Metaphorically, it's almost the same with the gurus. Rather than saying how good they are, since they have sheeps that pad their bank accounts, I looked at what was more transferable to me. But this metaphor is the same with other day game coaches. Instead of going for what is popular or the halo effect, you should just be enlightened and go for what is the most transferable. I have have nearly 600 laid poll testimonials and have proven you don't need to worship. I made the mistake of listening to others on YouTube for marketing. Maybe I got stuck, just as you have worshiping in fields and game crutches, cheating the process. I created the enlightened versus the sheeps concept. I can now call out their stupid sheep audience, who really are sociopathic sheeps. They have to worship. They have no critical thinking. My students are enlightened. They want results and don't worship me at all. As a result of all this, I was able to achieve the following: nearly 600 laid poll testimonials for day game. I have 15 times more laid in poll testimonials during the pandemic, inflation to now. I can't be a hater or jealous if I have 15 times more than they do. Maybe they are the hater or they are jealous or envious. They chose to teach alcohol camps, so that would limit their laid testimonials because their day game courses won't work without the sociopathic brute force alcohol crutch I already won, even if they try to dismiss. No matter what they think, they can't change the nearly 600 laid in poll testimonials for day game, so they can go screw themselves. I had a big boost and nobody can take that away from me for my accomplishment because I had already accomplished it without depending on in fields to fill boot camps long time ago. Even if they have 8 more unreleased testimonials and think they are a god, I have 32 unreleased laid testimonials. And I already released 2 previews of those. I have 4 times as many. I keep my powder dry. The last 2 preview testimonials were unreleased, so you will see more. They would get crumbled like a beer can. One day their stupid sociopath students will wake up to this fact I got way more. If they take their coach's banana out of their mouth, then they can finally have critical thinking by not worshipping like sociopath sheeps. So I'm going to post them as preview testimonials first, then afterward repost the full version. Then take the preview one out of my playlist. I don't want to stuff the playlist like a giant turkey, like white dating coaches. I only post later poll testimonials. After creating the enlightened versus the sheeps concept, I was able to post more videos educating people how sociopathic other dating coaches are in their students. I've also been able to stop getting people to worship because I want to make it clear, there is a no worship policy here. This is my John Elite Army. You come here, you train, not worship the strong commander. You do what the general says and win. Because I can now weed out the sociopathic sheeps by calling them out. Also, the sociopathic cult leader elements for this day game industry. And in the end, all of this means you are now able to be enlightened, so you don't have to worship me, the best day game coach in the world. You can never take away my achievements, turning it into some in-field worship mental bullshit, if that is not necessary, as Elon Musk said for his 5 engineering principles. Be less dumb, like less romantic flirts. Remove unnecessary steps like boot camps. Don't optimize what doesn't need to be optimized, which is alcohol maxing and bedroom escalation. Reduce the production time it takes to get the car out of the factory. You don't need their romantic flirt boot camp and field alcohol maxing courses. It's a scam. It is wasting more time. Lastly, automate, which is Elite 30 or Kaizen habits, which takes time to level up. So you don't need to bedroom escalate drunk women like they do.